Hello, my name is Jamie Mancado, and this is my ETD 543 project, a Mesa Writing Unit training session for teachers. And I came up with this idea because essentially Mumford High School is one of the 15 EAA schools who's going to transfer back to DPS schools, and they're moving from an online platform, used to be called Buzz, back to a traditional platform, and the teachers who are at the school have very little experience in actually teaching from the Mesa units. Okay, so the project is kind of broken up into two different levels. The first level is for teachers to receive training, and their backgrounds vary. Of course, they all have college degrees and have some have a lot of experience, some have very little experience. And the students are basically from a poor social economic situation in Detroit, with some of the lowest test scores in the state of Michigan, if not probably right near the bottom. Motivation level, though, the students are actually motivated to learn because they've had this online format and understand that they need to catch up with the rest of the students in the general area. Statement of the problem. Okay, well, every student at the school failed the M-STEP and SAT, which was a major problem. As a matter of fact, they actually reverted and scored lower than they did the previous years before the EEA took it over. Two, a system was needed to develop to ensure that the new teaching staff understood what the MESA units were, first of all, and second of all, the goals of the MESA units in ELA. Okay, so teachers had to know how to use technology to give students experience writing NSA because it was kind of stated in the two previous years that the students used paper and pencil, paper and pencil to take the M step, and they have never actually used technology, even though it's a technology-based school. Okay, the needs analysis, the root cause. Students have little curriculum. There's very little books in the school. There's little training in the MESA units. The teachers are unfamiliar with the units, so there's a problem there. The teachers have little experience transitioning back to a traditional curriculum. They were taught to use online materials, and some of them came from Teach for America, so they've only used online materials for their entire career. Now they're switching back to a traditional format and are basically lost. Okay, the goals are training. One is to improve the writing scores in the M-STEP. Right now they're at 0. Okay, improve reading skills as taught through the MESA writing units. So the MESA units kind of teach reading and writing actually through writing, kind of like a two-in-one process with an anchor text. Okay, improve teaching understanding of the goals of the units. Many of the teachers at the school essentially are using the units but don't really understand why they're using the units. Okay, understand the role of technology in the performance task. Understanding citations and how they are used on the M-STEP. And the school goal is to reach 80% proficiency. That's kind of a stretch, but still I think that there will be some kind of increase in test scores if the units are followed the way they're intended to. Objectives: using the training materials, teachers will be able to navigate through the MESA units and identify the pacing guides. Right now it's just kind of going to the computer, picking out maybe a section of the MESA units and kind of exploring them a little bit. Understand the M-STEP performance task. Many of the teachers don't know actually how to construct an essay according to the performance task. Understand the role citations play in the M-STEP performance task, and understand how to teach the M-STEP performance task. So essentially teaching the teachers to use the MESA units. On the other side, the students' goals are to actually write the argumentative essay, which is most likely to happen in the 11th grade on the M-STEP. Understand how the elements of fiction work within the unit, and understand how to actually use citations. For example, some teachers may use citations in an MLA format, but this is really kind of unrelated to what the use of citations are actually for when it comes to the M-STEP. So maybe just kind of redirect the training and instruction to use citations for the performance task instead of just creating assignments with citations just to create them. Okay, design and develop it. For this one, I had a training session I thought it would be best to do training over 3 days. And what I really liked about this unit is it is actually becoming the basis of the training for the school. So I've been given that role. Okay, it's over 2 days. Professional development. Lesson 1 is going to be actually showing the teachers how to navigate through the Maisa units themselves and kind of navigate through them, understand them, see what the content is. So instead of basically spending 2 months on adverbs, they kind of redirect the goals to maybe let's working on the performance task. The second step would be understanding the pacing guides of the Maisa units. So the Maisa units are kind of structured to eventually build up to the argumentative essay. Some of the teachers this late into December are still working on poetry, some other areas that are kind of insignificant. And so one thing is to actually get the kids to actually write the actual essay and gain practice at it. And identifying the goals of the writing unit, which would be reading comprehension, writing, things such as techniques, rhetorical devices, transitions, your basic elements of writing and reading that are taught through the actual units in a writing format. Okay, day 2, lesson 2 would be how to understand how to actually compose an argumentative essay. For this one, the task and goal would be to have each teacher in the building write 2 argumentative essays with their students, but kind of actually follow a format that would more than likely pass the M-STEP, a standard formula. Also, with that, you also have to write a narrative essay and understand how to compose a basically explanatory or informational essay. But the basis of all those 3 essays would come from one graphic organizer that was taught from the argumentative essay format. Okay, so spend a day on that. Lesson 3, understanding the roles of citations on the M-STEP. Performance task, understand how to use citations in an essay. So those 2 goals. So essentially, one of the major problems at the school is the teachers see the citations that are highlighted in the M-STEP or the Maisa units, and what they do is they more than likely will come up with assignments where they focus strictly on citations but don't really have an organized structure or goal for the citations. The citations are normally a text with information, and in that text or that short story, students will have to take information from that text and include it into their argumentative essay, or in the lower grades it could be a different type of essay. So we want to kind of maybe redirect learning and instruction towards that model. Implementation, it's going in the computer lab. We have a computer lab with computers, laptops, a group setting, group collaboration to let the teachers work together, and actually the teachers will have an opportunity to work with the lessons because you learn faster by doing. According to our class, EDD 543, and also they create lessons together to hopefully retain the information and be more likely to use it in their classes in the future. Evaluation. Okay, formative assessments. I think this is the key. The school has a goal of having daily exit tickets aligned towards the M-STEP and the Maisa units. So those would be used as formative assessments nearly every day. Okay, weekly writing tests with feedback. So kind of structure the classes with a timed writings, weekly writing according to the M-STEP, and borrowing some ideas from working at the Saginaw Arts and Sciences Academy in Saginaw, taking it to maybe Mumford. And also a schedule of bi-weekly essay construction. So every other week they're going to write a different essay to be prepared for the M-STEP by the time it comes around in March. Summative assessments are going to be timed argumentative essay construction in 30 minutes, even though on the M-STEP there will be additional time more than likely. We still kind of want to reach the goal of knowing the essay and completing it within 30 minutes with the information and the goals and the curriculum from the Maisa units in this project while they're writing. So they're learning about reading comprehension, transitions, and all those things in English, rhetorical devices, as they're actually writing these units. Okay, and a writing test in general, so the students will actually be tested on writing, and that's in a variety of formats. One could be creating an essay. The other could be taking a quiz on the essay format of the argumentative essay itself, and so on and so forth. Okay, so to kind of get the teachers on board, this is the format that was used. It's your most basic argumentative essay. frame. So here's the introduction, body one, body two, the counter argument, and the conclusion paragraph. And within this, all the teachers are kind of like geared to teach a little bit to the graphic organizer, like the classic catchy lead, the thesis statement at the end, in between, a little bit of an anecdote or whatever they choose to put in between here. Then it just kind of goes to the topic sentence, your first claim, with detail and a concluding statement, the transition phrases here. So it kind of teaches a writing through the graphic organizer and has a little bit of tidbit about using the third person and so on and so forth. And also on top, it's just as a little bit like a little cherry on the top. There's the MLA format. Okay, this is a graphic organizer that's actually more of a thinking mat to be filled out by the students as a writing tool in case a teacher that I kind of developed in case a teacher didn't want to teach the entire essay or have the students write an entire essay. They could just kind of do a short version of an essay and have the students outline what their ideas are for that essay. And there's a page 2 to this, but I didn't have room for it. Okay, well, thank you for watching. Goodbye. The Maisa units, the Michigan Association of Intermediate School Administrators. I've been to this conference the last 2 years. It's a very good conference if a school wants to teach their English teachers or other teachers about the Maisa unit writing process. Next year, when they possibly go to the NWEA testing, maybe this is all for naught, but it's still a great resource for teaching the argumentative essay. Whether it's going to be on the SAT or back with the M step, it's still a good process to learn. And hopefully we'll take some ideas from the good schools I worked at in Saginaw to Mumford High School in Detroit, and maybe you'll see some results in the paper. Even though they might not be great, extravagant results, a little bit of push in the right direction can go a long way sometime. Thank you for watching, and was glad to be a part of ETT 543.